The house stood alone, a solitary figure against the horizon. At the edge of town, where few dared to venture, past the old graveyard and the whispering willows, it loomed like a forgotten memory. It was a house that felt wrong, as if it harbored secrets too dark to reveal. Like a spider patiently waiting in its web, it ensnared the curious and the unwary. Its paint peeled, a sickly grey against rotting wood, telling tales of neglect and decay. Windows, like vacant eyes, stared out from behind dusty boarded frames, hiding the darkness within. The lawn, once manicured, had surrendered to weeds and creeping vines, nature reclaiming what was once hers. Something about the house watched, an unseen presence that made the hairs on your neck stand. It saw into you, not at you, piercing through your very soul with its unblinking gaze. It made you feel cold inside, a chill that seeped into your bones and lingered long after you had left. The creaking doors and whispering winds added to the eerie symphony, a haunting melody that echoed in your mind. The broken fence, like jagged teeth, warned you to stay away, yet beckoned with a morbid curiosity. Flickering lights in the windows hinted at life within, but no one ever saw who or what resided there. Shadows danced around the house, playing tricks on your eyes, making you question what was real. The silence was deafening, an unsettling quiet that spoke volumes of the house's dark past. Some claimed to see a ghostly figure in the window, a fleeting glimpse of a tormented soul trapped within. The house had a mysterious aura, a dark history that whispered through the walls, telling tales of sorrow and despair. It was a place that left you with an unsettling feeling, a sense that you were never truly alone. The haunting memories of those who had come before lingered, their stories etched into the very fabric of the house. It was more than just a house, it was a living entity, breathing and watching, waiting for its next victim. The old folks called it the Hollow House. It stood at the edge of town, a silent sentinel of forgotten memories and untold horrors. Whispered stories followed it like a shroud, tales of ghostly apparitions and eerie whispers that seemed to come from the very walls themselves. Some said a family vanished within its walls, their screams echoing through the halls. The children's laughter turned to cries, and the parents' desperate calls for help were never answered. Others spoke of a darkness that lived there, something ancient and evil, a malevolent presence that seemed to watch and wait, lurking in the shadows. The details were always hazy, lost to time and too much retelling. Each generation added their own twist, making the truth even harder to discern. But one thing remained consistent: the house was hungry. It seemed to have a life of its own, a dark, insatiable appetite, and it fed on the souls of the living. Those who dared to enter often never returned, their fates sealed by the house's insidious hunger. Halloween night. A group of friends, young and foolish, stood across the street. They were dared to go inside. Mark, the brave one, scoffed. "It's just a stupid old house," he said. Sarah, the skeptic, rolled her eyes. "It's creepy," she admitted, "but it's not haunted." Alex, quiet and nervous, just shook his head. "I don't like it," he mumbled. But the dare had been made, and they wouldn't back down. Silence and shadows. The front door creaked open as if inviting them in. Inside, the air was thick with dust and the smell of decay. Each footstep echoed in the oppressive silence. Cobwebs clung to everything like ghostly fingers reaching out. They wandered through darkened rooms, furniture draped in sheets resembling ghostly figures. A sudden noise made them jump. A floorboard creaked above them. Silence fell again, heavier this time. Vanished. They reached the top of the stairs. A long, dark hallway stretched before them. The air grew colder. "This is messed up, even for me," Mark whispered. Then it happened. A scream. Alex, he was gone. One minute he was there, the next, nothing. "Alex," Sarah called out, her voice shaking. Only silence answered her. Panic clawed at their throats. They had to get out, now! The hollow remains. They ran, out of the house into the night. Their hearts pounded in their chests, fear driving their every step. They didn't stop running until they reached the safety of the streetlights. The warm glow felt like a sanctuary, a barrier against the darkness that pursued them. The hollow house loomed behind them, silent and watchful. Its windows were like eyes, following their every move, as if the house itself was alive. Alex was never seen again. His disappearance left a void in the community, a mystery that haunted everyone who knew him. The police found no trace of him. They searched tirelessly, combing through every inch of the property. But it was as if Alex had vanished into thin air. The house remained a chilling reminder of that night. Boarded up and abandoned, it stood as a monument to the unknown horrors within. But some swore they could still see a figure in the window, watching, waiting. A shadow that seemed to move when no one was looking, a presence that sent shivers down their spines. The Hollow House still hungered. Its dark history and the mystery of Alex's disappearance continued to draw the curious and the brave, but none dared to enter. The legend of the hollow remains lived on, a chilling tale whispered in the dead of night.